Welcome everyone to our Brand Booster workshop. You are the lucky Brand Booster Batch 1 participants. That means that you don't have to do any more of this pesky product development. You're pretty ready to start thinking more deeply about your brand and how you want to come across to your customers, because you know exactly what you're doing. So congratulations for knowing what you're doing. Like I said, this is our Brand Booster session. Brand Booster is a service that's provided by Turn to takeoff entrepreneurs and to on-demand entrepreneurs who are currently working with us. Today, we're going to be covering what makes a great brand, also what makes not such a great brand. We're going to talk about how we can make a brand come to life using all of our senses, our feelings and emotions. And we're going to start filling out the tool that our designers use to help us create brands. Okay, so some of you are like, oh no, creative processes. This is my worst nightmare. I like things that are more logical. And other people are like, oh yes, I am an artiste and I can't wait to think about all this abstract stuff. Okay, so some of you might be feeling excited. Some of you might be feeling a little intimidated, but don't worry, because through the Brand Booster process, everyone should be coming out with a great brand. So no worries. We have a few goals for today. We got to have goals, you guys, or else what are we even doing? Just running in place. Today, we're going to be working towards 3 main goals. We're going to feel like our brand story has clicked. I use the term feel here because we are going to be getting into a lot of feelings today, and we are going to have a certain feeling when it starts to really make sense, and it's going to feel exciting, and it's going to feel like everything's falling into place. We're going to get as close to complete as possible, at least 2 parts of our Brand Booster brief, at least 2 features of our overall brand, the strapline and the brand purpose. Okay, that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And we're going to have clarity on how to complete the rest of the Brand Booster brief with your mentors and with your coach. Okay? If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you're like, brand purpose, strapline, girl, what is that? No worries. We're going to learn all about this in this workshop. So let's dig in. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about what's a great brand. We're going to talk about the Brand Booster process, the brand purpose, and the strapline. We're going to go over some bad brands, which is always fun. Little shady moment. And then we are going to go out into a 45-minute breakout session with mentors at the end. Okay, lot to cover though. Lot to cover beforehand so that you feel set up for success. All right, friends, we've been throwing around the word brand like nobody's business, like everybody's business. Okay, will someone unmute their microphone and let me know, what is a brand? What does that mean? Don't be shy, y'all. Come on. What's a brand?
Well, on some level, it's what defines an idea.
What defines an idea? Okay, so kind of like the parameters of the total idea of your brand. It's like the container of your business. Is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Who else? What else is a brand? What's a brand?
It's also maybe how businesses, product or service is seen by users or people from the outside.
How it's seen by others, how it's experienced by those who come into contact with it. Sometimes it's more than just seeing, right? Anyone else? It's a brand.
I think it summarizes the idea. It identifies your goals and what you want to achieve with your business?
That's right. It's more than just your product or your service, right? It's also about your vision. It's about where you're going. Very good. Yeah, a brand is the way that your business is perceived by those who experience it. Okay, so it's almost like if your business was a person, how would people describe them? It's everything to do with your business. Okay, it could be the way your website flows. It could be the arrangement of your office. It could be how your shop is set up, how you answer the phone when a customer calls. It could be the way your email signature looks, the emojis that you use, your packaging. The brand is like everything. Or a good brand can become everything about your business, okay? And of course, the brand includes key assets like your logo, the colors that you use, your taglines or strap lines that you use, the fonts and typography, the voice, the tone of voice that you use in your social media, that you use at your events, imagery, both digital and in real life, the people that you choose to represent you, like your mascots, spokespeople, celebrity endorsements, influencers, etc., and your marketing tactics and advertising as well. Okay, so yes, all these assets are included, but it's much more than just your name or your logo. A brand is a recognizable feeling that these assets evoke when experienced by other people. Okay. What makes a great brand identity? Okay, because not all brands are created equal. I live on Brick Lane and there are some bad brands on that street, you guys. 3 key things to remember when creating a brand, okay? The brand should feel like you. It comes from the same unique place that your business comes from. You. It's not copied from someone else. Yes, you need to think about what your customer wants to see. Yes, you need to know what the market is like and what the best practices are, but that's not the same thing as copying someone else or doing something so basic that it has no reflection of your USPs, no story of its own, okay? So it's got to feel like you. It's got to be special. It's got to make sense to other people. That means it needs to be consistent. So it's done in the same way over time and in a lot of different places so that people can recognize it. It's got to be unique. So it doesn't immediately make you think of something else. Memorable. It impacts the senses and causes an emotional connection, a sensory connection for those who you are looking to target. It's got to be coherent, so logical and consistent, forming a whole so that people can recognize you, like I said, between your platforms. So if they see you at a conference, they see you on the shelf at a store, they see you on Instagram, and they see you in a magazine, and they know that it's you every time. A great brand can make a really big difference for any business, okay? This is why it's so important to have a great brand. It can build trust with your customer, with your potential partners, with people in your industry. The consistency and the thoughtfulness behind a brand design creates that trust. It shows a level of professionalism. It communicates the value of your business to your customer, because using the brand design, you can send a message of a level of quality that your customers can expect, depending on how thorough the brand is, how good the brand is. It helps people feel assured when they use your products, and it helps them be able to recognize you so that they can choose you again and again and again. That's brand confidence, okay? And it makes your employees feel a certain way and attracts certain types of talents who resonate with your brand and feel that it's something that they want to be a part of, okay? So it attracts externals like potential partners and potential customers and clients, but it also attracts the type of people that want to work for you. This is why we're going to take the time to be really thorough and develop a great brand. Okay, this is why it's important for any founder to develop a great brand. One of the great things about branding is that actually anyone can do it, okay, and anyone can get it. And that's because we are all consumers, okay? So if we give it some thought, we all have at least some experience making choices around certain brands over other brands. It's just a part of all of our lives. So we do have the power to empathize and to think about the who we are trying to reach, our potential customers and their experience when they're making purchasing choices. We want to think hard about their experience because that way the people we need to choose us are choosing us. We are reaching the customers that we're targeting and drawing them in. Okay. Who is this product for? And what will that audience think and feel when they see your brand? These are the questions you want to ask yourself when you're designing your brand. Okay. Imagine you are a manufacturer of walking sticks for people who have leg problems. You wouldn't want to spend your time creating a brand that's all these bright colors and pictures of young people partying and dancing around, right? Because that wouldn't really reach most of your target audience is people who have trouble walking. So they're not going to be attracted to pictures of people dancing. This is where a lot of businesses go wrong because their brand isn't aimed at who it should be aimed at. Sometimes they go with trends. Sometimes they just copy other brands. You need to know your potential customer inside and out. That's why we spend so much time thinking about our customers in ICE Academy and in Takeoff. So let's imagine we are a consumer, because we are. We're walking down a supermarket aisle, okay? Like all customers, we're exposed to many different brands every time we enter a marketplace, whether it's in person like this picture or also online. Brands are a gateway for us to understand the many options that are available to us in one single service or product category, okay? Brands help us make decisions on which one to choose based on both explicit, so obvious, but also implicit, so under the surface, messaging. Why are we drawn to certain brands over others, okay? Let's do a little bit of an exercise. You are this customer and you're walking into the peanut butter aisle, okay? So many options. So many options. Obviously, there's different types of nut butters. There's almond butters, cashew butters. Even within the peanut butter section, there's chunky and there's smooth, okay? I'm not talking about the I'm not talking about the features of the product, okay? I'm talking about the branding. So let's say we are consumers that are looking for a chunky peanut butter. We're a chunky peanut butter type person. Here we have 3 chunky peanut butters in front of us, okay? How do we choose which one? Which one would you choose and why? Please unmute yourself and let me know. Don't take too long now, come on. Which peanut butter are you choosing and why? There's no wrong answers.
Okay, I can jump in.
Go for it.
I would go for the middle one. So I like everything that's natural. So I like that there's the trees. I like that it looks kind of friendly. It looks a bit funny, like a little bit like a child's drawing. And I like that crunchy is written like in big letters, so I can make sure that it is crunchy.
Nice one.
My responsible brain tells me I want to buy the one in the middle, but my exhausted end of the day brain will make me buy Skippy on the left because I want the sugar.
You want the sugar. And why exhausted? What makes you go for Skippy when you're exhausted?
Maybe I just want a quick snack and some energy. So it's kind of my guilty buy rather than my conscious buy, which is the middle.
And why is it the one that you run for though?
Maybe that's beyond my control. Maybe that's my, as I call it, the lizard brain, Adele, as you know. So
Lizard brain, because Skippy is the most probably long-standing and popular of all three of these. You've probably been eating Skippy since you were a little kid.
possibly. It's not a conscious decision in my case, I guess.
Go ahead.
For me, it's a difficult choice. Okay, so I like the look of the first one, as Julia said, sorry, the middle one, but it's gonna put me into, when I see things where they say organic and no sugar added, my first thought that I came to my mind is to look at the back. So I always go look at the back, what is there, what is not there. So it just makes me a bit, wonder if they actually do that, what they are actually saying. So I don't know. I'm not gonna buy any of them because I don't think that I'm in favor of any of them. They just don't clearly tell the, I know we are looking at the looks, but it's not exactly telling what we are getting other than crunchy. Okay, if someone just care about the peanut being crunchy or smooth, that's one thing. But if you want to look at everything like the ingredients, what it's used, how it's used, or how it's created, then I don't know if they're telling the story.
Okay, so if you care about the ingredients and the quality of your peanut butter and the quality of your ingredients, which of these are you more likely to pick up and look at the ingredients on the back?
A middle one.
The middle one. And what about the one on the right?
I like its minimal design.
It's I think they didn't put a lot of effort on the designing and branding the product, and I think it just shows a bit laziness from them.
We should write them a letter.
Is this actual brand?
Yeah, actually, let me tell you about this. So Justin's and the Whole Earth on the right are both natural peanut butters that have quite reliable and quite mindfully sourced ingredients. Neither of them will have palm oil, for example. The Whole Earth in the middle is certified organic. That's why they say it on the front. The Justin's is not organic. However, I would wager that their ingredients are probably better and more sustainable. It's a finer peanut butter than the middle one. The Justin's costs about 8 pounds and the Whole Earth costs about 4 pounds. Can anybody tell me how you might notice that the Justin's is a more luxe, a more expensive product than the one in the middle?
It looks simpler. It's not trying too hard to sell what it has inside, like the crunchy, the absolutely no added sugar. It's, yeah.
And
Apple.
why do rich people, why do luxury products use minimalism in their branding?
I don't think that's the case. It depends on different companies. Like some people do put.
Why might a luxury company use minimalism?
Yes, sometimes less is more.
Less is more.
And maybe, like you said, they don't have to try so hard. maybe the product is so good that it speaks for itself.
Yeah, but you have to buy the product first for it to speak for itself. And a lot of people do care about the look of the, you know, the design and everything. With that company. If it's something that, you know, is very popular already, and then they minimize the, you know, or work less on it, then it makes sense because it's already recognized. So no matter what they do or don't, people will already buy it. But if it's a new company or brand, I think it really matters how you brand it, I guess.
Definitely. Yeah. Speaking of popularity, let's talk about the Skippy. What do you guys notice on the Skippy?
The design is very retro, and it kind of, you know, like pops out, and it screams, it's asking for attention. It's like, take me, buy me kind of attitude. And then it definitely, you know, brings back all those childhood memories because it looks like it belongs to a different time.
Yes. Skippy is the old faithful. I think, at least in the United States, everybody had a jar of Skippy at home since like 1955. It's super sugary. It's not for people who care about ingredients. It's not for people who care about the environment. Plastic tub, plastic top, bright colors marketed towards children. You may notice the whole earth, which is the natural, crunchy, organic, no added sugar, no palm oil, but is the affordable version. Looks like it's in a mason jar, glass jar, metal lid, looks very DIY. The trees there look like they're linoleum printed, which is like a craft art. Very DIY, do it yourself. Very what's the word what I'm looking for? Like rustic or like all natural, like almost like you made it yourself. And then yeah, the Justin's is the luxury brand. Recycled plastic, I'll have you know, but plastic nonetheless. So guys, there you have it, 3 different peanut butters. Any last comments before we move on? Great. Let's bring this all a bit closer to home and talk about one of our own entrepreneurs' brands that was created via the BrandBooster service. We wanted to have Najat come in. Many of you have already met her. She's an amazing human being. Unfortunately, she has been opening her own salon finally. She had a salon before, but now she's branching out on her own. She had a partnership before, now she's going off on her own, opening her amazing salon in Brixton, and she got sick, unfortunately. So she couldn't make it today, but I'm going to tell you all about her brand because it's a really interesting one. Najat is a nail artist, as you know. This is her brand, Mazal Beauty and Wellness. What do you see here in her brand? Tell me.
I see like I think like, you know, almost the Buddhism thing, like spiritual, yeah.
Hamsa.
Yes.
It's Hebrew, Middle
Yes.
Eastern, that whole region, the Israelites and the
that whole sort of
Islam.
thing. Yeah.
Yes, the Hamsa hand. The Hamsa hand is a talisman that means luck and fortune in those regions. What else do you see?
It also has the nails in different colors. So kind of relates to the beauty. Yeah.
She's a nail artist. Yeah, it does. Anything else?
you have two words that clearly talk about what the product's about or what the service is about.
Mm. It does, yeah, beauty and wellness.
She used
Go ahead.
two colors for her brand, like the orange type and the gray.
Yeah, she's got these really nice light pastel colors, right? Cool, let's dive into this brand, you guys. So Najat went through this whole process. And so the first thing I asked her was, Najat, what is the biggest piece of advice that you would tell somebody who is just starting this brand journey? Someone like you. And she said, make it meaningful. Make it come from your story, from inside you. She said, how do you feel about your brand? This is your passion. This is what you love. Represent what's in your heart and tell your story through your brand. These are some of the key words included in her brand guide, in her final brand guide. As you can see, blessing, lucky, joy, protection, the talisman, beauty, happy environment, warmth, approachable, good quality, welcoming. So these were some of the things that we were trying to achieve when creating this brand. Let's dive into a little bit. I spoke to Najat about developing her brand purpose and how it impacted the way she chose the features of her brand. Okay, so I asked her, Najat, why was the Mazal brand born? And what makes it different from other businesses? Now, Mazal means luck in Hebrew. Okay, this is due to Najat's story. She had a bit of a hard time, but made it to Israel after she left her country. And she was certified in Israel in beauty therapy. She felt very lucky that she was able to find beauty therapy and improve her potential for her future after she made it to safety in Israel. She worked a lot for other people in other salons, and she decided early on that she would be very lucky to be able to do things her own way. She wasn't able to do things her own way when she worked for other people, obviously. So I said, okay, Najat, doing stuff your own way, your vision for your brand, your vision for your way of doing it. How would that look? She said she wants to be a strong and independent woman leader. She wants to be the boss of her own space. She wants to create opportunities for other beauty therapists and a wonderful environment for her customers. That's her brand purpose. That's her purpose here of starting her own business and doing it her own way. Why? Because she feels very grateful and very lucky to have developed those beauty therapy skills, like we said. And thus she takes her work very seriously and she treats it with care and with love. Because she is so committed to her practice and to her customers, she knows that her customers can truly relax when they are with her. Because busy professionals like the Londoners that she serves really need to trust that they have a place of sanctuary where they can relax and rely on her to provide a really good, really high quality service to them in exchange for their hard-earned money, okay? Because she knows the worst thing in the world is to go and spend your hard-earned money somewhere and get a terrible service. And that's not what she's about. So her customers are also lucky to have found her. Of all the nail salons in all of England, in all of London, even in all of Brixton, her customers found Mazal. And they are also lucky for that because they're going to have the best time and service and investment that they could make. Leaving with a huge smile means a lot to Najat and means a lot to her customers. So they are both lucky. This was the idea behind her brand. The Hamsa hand is the symbol of luck and fortune. Now I said, okay, what do you want to do in 5 years, Najat? Because of course, a brand is something that's going to stick with her. It needs to be timeless. She said she wants to have a big salon. She wants to work with people like her who are trying to make a difference in the industry. She wants to help other people like her, maybe even have a second shop. Okay. All of this impacted her brand and the colors that she chose. She wanted hopeful colors, happy colors, light colors, relaxing and soft. She chose baby colors, light colors, because the business is her baby, which will grow. Very strong attention to detail. She had the nails colored, like you notice. And even in these photographs that she took for her Enka Collective page, she painted her nails the same color as her logo. Couple wise words from Najat when you're thinking about your own brand. Okay. She says, please take your time. This is your brand. You need to be very careful with your choices. If there's something you're not happy with or that doesn't feel right, just reconsider it. Take the time that it takes. Okay. Wait until it clicks. It should feel right. I remember the moment when she said, what about the Hamsa hand? And we both just felt like, yes, no question. Of course, that's what it is. She said, take feedback from the designers. Okay. So get feedback from the designers, but also from your customers. So you can see here on the left side, some of the other iterations of the brand. Okay. She had a lot of ideas. Initially, she wanted the Hamsa hand to have the evil eye inside, which is the way that it's often represented. But she showed it to a bunch of her customers and she asked the designers what they thought. And even though she preferred the evil eye, in the end, the customers and the designers both said that they weren't familiar with that image. And it made them think of like an optician. So it just didn't work as well as then the one with the nails was so strongly connected to her being a nail technician that it just made more sense to her customers and they just liked it better. So she asked a lot of people before making the choice, even though she personally preferred the evil eye. But she realized that not everybody knows what that means. So they get confused when they see the eye. Okay. She said, listen to the designers again. You'll see in the third one down here that she had this like cotton candy background here. And when the designer said it's gorgeous, but it's trending right now, and maybe in a few years, it's not going to be a trend anymore. She said, you want to use solid colors that are more timeless. And instead they used that kind of ombre cotton candy background on her loyalty cards, which you can see underneath. Because the loyalty cards you can just change and get reprinted. Whereas the logo itself, you should not have to change. Okay. Pay attention to detail, make things uniquely yours, she said. She made that traditional symbol of the Hamsa hand uniquely hers by adding the nails and adding the colors. Okay, so add your own magic and make it yours. Okay. These are pictures of how Najat's branding influenced the way that she set up her salon. Even when she was in partnership with a hair salon, she made sure that the space that she was using looked like her brand. It's gorgeous. Now she's opening her own salon across the street and she's refurbing the whole inside to be her brand colors and to be symbolizing these words and visuals that we've just been noticing that she has. The hope, the luck, the fortune, the relaxation, the warmth, the welcoming, all of this will be represented. So congratulations to Najat. After 4 years of working on it, she finally got her funding and she's got her own space. Hopefully she can come and hang out with us again sometime soon because she does come and visit sometimes. Does anybody have any questions about Najat's brand? Great. Najat really landed on the perfect symbol for her business, not only because the Hamsa hand represents luck and good fortune, but also because it's related to her nail business and had the lovely nails that led to the perfect imagery. Okay, you too should think about which symbols, which pictograms, which visual archetypes represent the different aspects of your product or service, your brand values or purpose, or any other element of your brand. Okay, symbols and imagery can be a very powerful inspiration for your logo and for your visuals. Okay, here's another example: the New York Public Library. Okay, you would think a book, duh, but actually the lion traditionally represents wisdom and power since ancient times in many different cultures. And in the United States, there's a popular proverb that knowledge is power. Okay, so the New York Public Library used lions to represent its values of gaining wisdom and knowledge through literature, media, and art, and the great power of the everyday person's access to information, inspiration, and education to be empowered, because that's what the library is about. That is the library's purpose and their vision. So it can be something more archetypal and ancient like this lion, or it could be inspired by a more personal experience like Najat's Hamsa hand and the fact that she happened to be certified in Israel. Here's the lion again, the New York City Public Library lion, more recently this time. As you can see, the library continues to use its symbols and play with symbology to express its values and its purpose. In 2020, the lions were fitted with enormous masks, an expression of the public library's values of contributing to social good, being publicly minded, and the betterment of society, or the triumph of science and intellectualism over ignorance and evil. Do you see how even something like putting a mask on the lion continues to express its values to all who experience and come into contact with this building? It's time to start creating an amazing brand identity of our very own. I know you're feeling inspired. Who's going to help us create this amazing brand that feels uniquely ours, that's unique, exciting, memorable, consistent, and professional? That's right, friends, Leticia and Narcisse, our brand booster team. This is the third year that we'll have been working together. We're so excited. These guys are so great. They're so talented. And in order for them to really understand your brand vision, we're going to be filling out the Brand Booster Brief tool, which is in your Google Drive. This is the process, friends. We're going to go through and fill out the whole Brand Booster Brief over time. And as you're filling it out, you get closer and closer to a complete brand. Okay. So the first page is the mood board. It's a collection of images and words that help the designers to visualize the style or the aesthetic that you're looking for and the different concepts that you want associated with your brand. Okay, the symbols, the words, the ideas, the colors, the shapes that are connected to it. The brand purpose, to determine the why of all of this. What's the reason behind this business's existence? The brand emotions, how do you want people to feel when they're immersed in your brand? The brand name and font to be used in your logo and on your website and all of your various assets. Brand colors to be used across all of your brand assets as well. Your logo design wishes, including the symbols that you're thinking of. Photography style, which you'll use in social media, advertising, content, etc. Are you going to have artsy fartsy photos? Are you going to have black and white photos? Will there be like a vintage or a faded quality? Will there be portraiture and a lot of human beings laughing and having fun? Or is it mostly going to be product focused? Is it going to be minimalistic? There are so many different styles of photos used with brands. Social media examples of how you would like your content to be and look and what it will all mean, how you will use social media to express your brand. And finally, one asset which you would like to choose for the designers to create aside from all of this. So we can talk about that a little bit more, but basically through the BrandBooster service, everyone will get the brand concept guide, the logos, the color palettes, and the font packages. But everyone will pick a different asset. And by asset, we mean sort of a separate element of the brand. For example, stationery, social media templates, packaging, different types of packaging needs, flyers or promotional materials, maybe a pamphlet or literature, just depending on the business that you're starting, there might be a brand asset that you need that is different than just your basic brand package. Okay, so that's going to be the process. And today, we're going to begin this process with the why, just like we always do. Why are we doing this? What is our objective starting this business? And how is that going to come across in your brand and make your brand different from other brands? Okay, so a brand purpose is basically the reason for your brand to exist beyond just making money. Okay, so the brand purpose adds value, not just to the lives of customers, but to society as a whole. Okay, and let me tell you, 82% of UK consumers favor voting with their wallets by buying from companies that, quote, do the right thing, whatever that means to the different customers, okay? The rise in conscientious consumerism means that you need to think about the social, environmental, ecological, and political positioning of your brand. This is even more important if you're trying to market to Generation Z, so people who are younger than me, because they see brand purpose as an important factor when choosing products or services. Okay, so why is your brand good? What is the heart of your brand? Even if it's not a core part of your business plan, even if you have no social side to your business at all, you need to think about this because chances are your customers are. It builds a more emotional relationship between your brand and your customer. So it helps to boost sales as well as customer loyalty. A powerful brand purpose sets out a company's intent to change the world in some way and connects with consumers on a personal level. It doesn't have to be charity. It's about innovation, shaking up an industry, caring for people. It can be many different things. It sets yourself apart from competitors as well. Okay, so it helps you loop in people who care about what you care about, like-minded people, and it shows what makes you unique. Okay, so think about your USPs. Your USPs will likely be integral to your brand purpose. For example, if your product is handmade, your brand purpose may have something to do with slowing down, maintaining certain artisanal practices and artisanal culture. It could be regarding sustainability because you're not mass producing. Okay, so think about your USPs and how that relates to your brand purpose. Top tips, you want your purpose to be simple, clear, and easy to understand. Put it in a sentence, make it up in a nutshell, have something in your back pocket. Someone asks, why are you doing this? You can say it right away. Not contrived. You guys, you don't have to make it up. Like I said, it's not about like being a charity, okay? As conscientious consumerism has risen, companies have been falling all over themselves to create a benevolent brand purpose that actually does not exist at all. In fact, very much the opposite in many cases, okay? Customers can tell, so beware. For example, Najat. Najat does nails. She's not out here, you know, spoon feeding hungry orphans or saving the environment, okay? That's not what she's doing. She's doing nails. She wants to make her customers feel lucky to have found her. She wants to be a powerful woman in a leadership position who creates opportunities for other refugee women. She wants to create a relaxing space for her treasured customers. She's not pretending about any of this. This is how she feels, okay? She's not pretending to care about something just because it's trending in a public opinion somewhere, okay? Make it real, because that's what's gonna make people feel connected to it, the right people. Lastly, it should fit in somehow with your product or service. It doesn't need to be direct. If you remember the Nut Job brand of peanut butter that we talked about in Ice Academy, it was about, there was no palm oils in the peanut butter. So it was all about how 10% of their proceeds go to orangutans. And that's because palm oil destroys orangutan habitats. So even though you wouldn't initially think peanut butter and orangutans are connected, actually they are, because when a peanut butter brand or any brand chooses not to use palm oil, then actually they have a directly positive effect on orangutan survival. So it is related, and you need to make it clear why it's related. Okay. Now, a good, thorough brand purpose is going to affect the choices made in your brand decision. Let's see how it transfers. A brand purpose transfers into a final look and feel of a brand. Okay, guys, this is a legging company. This is a sportswear company. They sell leggings. Who can read into this brand's purpose? What do you see as the purpose behind the visuals of this brand?
Wellness.
Wellness.
Power.
What's that?
Power.
Power. Yes. Wellness, power. What else?
Flexibility.
Flexibility, no limits, wild and free. Shows the comfort and the flexibility of the product itself, both because she's in the wild and because she's moving like this. What else?
There's something luxurious also with the gold kind of background. So yeah, it evokes quality.
Definitely. Definitely evokes quality with the gold leaf. Anyone else? Why the two images?
It's kind for all environment.
Yes.
You know, it's like this is the strong environment, and in the beach it's warm and it's humidity, something like this.
Yes, very astute observation. So we've got this warm endurance, the stone, the grit, the resilience. This is about sports and fast movement and endurance, determination, grit, right? The square, very like masculine, outward, like yang energy. And then we've got also the strength of the alignment, the balance, the more mindful types of movement. This is the cool color, like you said, the beach, the humidity, this like blue, almost like a yin. It's got the circle, like a curve, rather than this straight line, the square. So these leggings can be used for all different types of strength and training. Okay. You guys, these people sell leggings, but somehow we've managed to read quite a bit into this. Okay. Any other last comments? Cool. So this is going to be your brand purpose page. You're going to come up with a brand purpose of your very own. Okay. Now the strap line. Second thing we're going to do today. What is a strap line? Most basically, a strap line is that short line that you often see underneath a brand logo that kind of describes it further. Okay. It's something you want to be very, very careful with, because it's more than just a sentence that describes your brand. It's actually a long-term commitment to your audience. It doesn't change from day to day, from campaign to campaign, from ad to ad, the way that like a slogan does. Okay. It's a way to tell your business story to the wider world in a very short and very impactful way. And in many cases, it helps people to understand what it is that you even do, because not all brand names describe you. Okay. A strapline can make a serious statement. There's two different types of strap lines. Okay. Descriptive and aspirational. Aspirational strap lines, we see some examples here. In more large and complex organizations, an aspirational strapline can articulate an ethos that unites all of its various activities. Because these companies do so many things, sometimes they go with an aspirational type of strapline that can position them in the marketplace. It's a strapline that makes you feel a feeling. Okay. For example, Nike, just do it. They don't have to say Nike sports equipment, because we all know what Nike does. Instead, they go with this aspirational style because they're a complex organization. The other type of strapline is descriptive. These straplines help audiences understand what an organization does. And I would say that in most small business or new business cases, you do want to go with a descriptive strapline, because people want to understand. It helps people understand what you do, because they just don't know you yet. You're new on the scene. That doesn't mean you have to do something boring. Okay. Some are a little more fun, wordy. You can use a little wordplay. Okay. But ultimately, it is clear that this is a place where you can find a certain thing. So for example, Travelocity, wander wisely. Okay. It's cool. It has some alliteration. It kind of makes me feel a feeling like, oh, I want to wander, you know, but it still is clearly a place I can find information about traveling. Coffee House Press, where good books are brewing. Smart, professional, quippy. I'm a person who reads books. I want someone a little bit funny at my Coffee House Press, you know, who's a little smart, clever, little witty, you know. This is a great brand. It's obviously a coffee shop / bookstore. No question. Some are more basic, simple, and to the point, like Lush fresh, handmade cosmetics. However, notice that this does describe their USPs. They're handmade, they're freshly made. Okay. And of course, Mazal, as we know, she's not just about beauty. She's also about commitment to a relaxing space and a welcoming space. It's about wellness for her. It's more than just a beauty treatment. Okay. That's why she chose that strap line. Couple top tips for a new brand. Try and make a short and descriptive strap line. Okay. Just try it out first and foremost. It can be fun and clever, but it's got to be describing what you do. It's got to be really clear. What do you offer exactly? Okay. If it's going to confuse people further about what you do, then you probably don't want to choose that. Memorable. Okay. Sometimes people just like put a bunch of words together and they don't really like evoke any kind of like meaning and somehow express your brand personality. So, you know, if you want to express your brand personality, if your brand is fun and whimsical, then maybe something more like that. If your brand is more serious, then maybe you want to use more formal language. Here are some examples. If you just saw the word Hanks or just the business name Horn OK Please, you'd be like, I don't know what that is. But because they have their strap line, now I know. Frank's, they make hot dogs. They've got, it brings together everything. They've got their mustard yellow. They've got their vintage typography. It's given me all kinds of hot dog vendor, quality hot dog vendor vibes now. The Horn OK Please, it says vegetarian street food. All of a sudden I'm understanding, okay, it's got the bright pink and the orange, the paisley flower. It's got the lotus flowers on the side. This is a conscious brand. It's plant-based. It's South Asian. Like, okay, now it's all coming together for me because of this strap line. Does that make sense? So this is the place where you're going to put your strap line. Page 4 on the BrandBooster. Okay, that's what it looks like. You're going to put it here under the brand name. I'm going to show you the BrandBooster in a minute. But first, we're going to do something fun. Let's do a Hall of Shame. Hall of Shame. Bad brands, you guys. Ooh. What do you think about this one? What even is this? What is this, you guys? We're running out of time, so just go for it. We don't have time. Go for it. Unmute yourself.
Something related to sports?
Yes, it's the Olympics, the London 2012 Olympics. How could you tell? Just kidding. I know you couldn't because this brand is terrible.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's 201. Oh, okay.
Kind of. It kind of says 2012.
Yeah.
What about this one?
It's very similar to Pizza Hut, so it's more like a copy. The name
is copying. That's right. That is definitely copying. It's kind of funny, but it's actually taking away from your business because now all I'm thinking about is Pizza Hut and pizza. And I'm not even really sure that pitas should be associated with pizza or fast food at all. I'm not sure if those are the same markets. It's bad. It's bad, you guys. Anybody ever seen this one? What does this one look like to you?
Sporty.
What's that?
Sporty.
Sporty?
Yeah, like something like sports related. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I like that you're saying sporty because it has absolutely nothing to do with sports, which shows how terrible of a brand it is. What else does this evoke?
It looks like a loading wheel, like, you know, when something is trying to charge, but it's not happening and it's like lagging.
It's like trying.
Yeah.
That reminds me of in Philadelphia, the transport system, the strap line was, "We're getting there." And it was a terrible transport system. Okay, what else? What else? They actually pulled this brand a few months later because they received so much of a negative response.
Okay, it doesn't make sense, whatever it is.
Yeah, you have no idea what this is, right?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like the loading symbol, like you said, and then like a book, and it's like knowledge and progress. This is actually the University of California systems rebrand. They pulled it and went back to the old brand and just rebranded it a little bit because it looks like a toilet. It's also an incomplete circle, which is pretty funny because University of California is notorious for people never finishing their degrees in 4 years. How about this one, you guys?
Oh, wow.
Funeral.
Too much decorated for funeral.
It's a little whimsical and happy for a funeral. Go ahead.
I think it's very childish. It looks for something like for kids stuff for funeral.
Very, very true. Death in our culture is generally portrayed as a little more serious and somber than this brand typography. What do you think?
Again, for childs, maybe.
Very childish for a bar, huh?
Yeah.
What else is weird about this?
Is it stealing some kind of a character?
I do not know.
I don't know. It's a bit weird. Have a look.
What do you guys think of the colors?
Yeah, it's weird colors. But I don't know if it means something.
Well, imagine trying to print this on a beer glass. You would barely be able to see it. They probably could have gotten away with like 1 or 2 of the colors on this logo, but with a few other neutral colors as well. But they just went all out on these really weird colors altogether. And there's just too much going on and very childish. One more, you guys. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's very childish.
Yes.
Wow, it's sushi, but why is it on fire?
Good question.
Okay, it doesn't make sense.
Does not make sense. Okay. It also looks a lot like Tinder. Here are some cautionary tales, you guys. Let's just try not to be like them. Any other last comments on these bad brands?
I think overall it doesn't show the purpose or the actual like what the brand should be doing. They're not showing their identity or the real purpose of their brand.
That's right.
They haven't given enough thought to it, maybe.
Yeah. Yep. Any other last comments? All right, friends, listen up. The faster you get your brand booster brief in, the further ahead in the queue you will be with the designers, okay? So today we're gonna start out with the brand purpose, the strap line, And if you actually come up with those two things and it's feeling really clear to you and you've thought it all the way through, I would suggest beginning to work on your mood board today. Okay, so I'm going to show you a BrandBooster brief. A mood board that was created by one of our entrepreneurs last year. He has a brand called Jungle Shoes. They are handmade from tire scraps, sandals, okay? It's an old Sudanese traditional sandal making design, but made from car tires. And he learned how to do this in Calais when he was spending time in Calais. And so he called his brand the Jungle Shoes, because he learned how to do them in Calais. My computer is being very strange and taking a really long time to load, but this is the mood board that he created. He's got the London Calling street art, the Welcome to the Jungle from Calais. He's got this whole like sustainable vibe of like nature taking over the urban setting. This Jungle Shoes this is part of his brand. He's got the old Sudanese imagery and the sort of like cows and all this stuff from this traditional Sudanese sandal making. But then he's also got this kind of like urban nature jungle kind of vibe as well, and some pictures of his products. This is the logo design that he gave to the designers. Okay. And as you can see, like just go kind of crazy with it, like put in as many pictures as you feel that you need. He wanted to have tire tracks. He wanted it to look a little bit like it was like printed, like how Extinction Rebellion does, this urban, gritty kind of thing. And the asset that he wanted was some packaging support, and he wanted like a brander so that he could brand the car tire into the shoe. Okay. This was some of the photography stuff that he wanted to use. He wanted like pictures of shoes in urban environments. He wanted a lot of street art represented in his photos. So he included a lot of the street art about migrants and a lot of the street art about Calais, as well as some of this like more natural nature taking over the urban environment again. He also added more colors. You'll notice your BrandBooster comes with one color scheme, but you can just duplicate this and make a second one. Okay. Now his strap line was slash your footprint, because they were made from recycled car tires, made to order, handmade. They are a sustainable product. And so they cut our carbon footprint. And because he had this kind of rebel, urban, and car tire imagery in his brand, he went for slash your footprint, meaning like slash your tires, lower your carbon footprint. And it's got this kind of urban rebel vibe. Okay. So there's a lot going on in this brand. When we come back from the break, I'm going to show you what the brand ended up looking like, and you're going to think it's really cool. Okay. So go off. We're going to go for, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to go for 40 minutes. Okay. And then we'll come back. Welcome back, everyone. I promised you that I would show you the Jungle Shoes reveal of the brand. How did they visualize all of that information? I will show you that right now. This was the original concept that was given back after the BrandBooster. And this was some of the imagery, the style here, urban, nature, no borders. So no borders, meaning freedom of movement and the refugee and the Calais based craft that led to this product, but also no borders like between nature and the city, and allowing nature to come back with this like eco sustainability and zero waste vibe that he had going on. Rewilding, raw and bold. So this is what they first came up with. You can see the footprint, the tire tracks here, the colors that they wanted. He also, as we mentioned, wanted to have a branding iron of his logo. They also gave him another concept, you guys, and many of you will have this too. When you first get your brand back from the designers, they'll give you 2 different concepts and they'll ask you which one you want to see progress, and then you give feedback. In the end, he chose concept 1 and he asked for the green to be a little bit darker. He wanted a little bit more of a splatter around the tire track so that it looked a little bit more rough, a little bit more urban. And then he got this really cool font here. So this was the final brand guidelines, and you'll see that this is reflected all over his website, his packaging, his Instagram. You can see he's got his font here. He's got this cool videos behind him and all of his original brand pictures here. So even his tone of voice, give us a shout, different than contact us, because he's still going for this whole brand and it's all come together into this. Even the tone of voice used is matching the brand. So that's what he did. It was really cool. I am going to just finish up with a few points about your brand booster. Your brand booster brief, that is. You've done these different things. I wanted to talk a little bit about brand colors. We are going to put a video up on a Notion page about your brand, about how to use this really cool tool called Coolers. Coolers helps you to find colors that go together. It helps you to find hex codes, which are the numbers that designers use to represent certain colors. Like I said, you don't have to only have 3. If you want to add, for example, neutral colors, you can duplicate, left click and duplicate this page and make 6 colors to give to the designers. That's totally fine too, or 5 or 4. We are going to post that video. Like I said, some of you were in the Adobe Spark ICE Academy workshop last August, and that is when we did the demo. Okay. Top tips for choosing your colors. Okay. Like we talked about with Najat, that ombre cosmic thing was a little bit too trendy. You want to pick colors that are more or less timeless, that are going to last a long time. So right now, maybe it's trendy, like a neon green or like a lilac. Don't select something just because it's trendy. It needs to be contemporary, but also timeless. Okay. It needs to be clear and easy to see. You know, you don't want to use baby pink and baby yellow and baby blue and white, because you won't be able to read those things. So you want to have some contrast and for the colors to be legible and clear. You also want to be unique enough from your competitors. For example, if you are a fast food joint and you choose red and yellow for your colors, you're very close to McDonald's, the biggest brand in all fast food, and that would be not as unique enough. So you want to try to also forge your own path here. This is a great example of some beautiful brand colors. It's classic, it's timeless. You can clearly see the name, you can clearly see the logo. You could print this thing on anything. You could inverse the colors and print that on anything. This is a beer logo that Leticia showed us as a sort of gold standard for colors. It's unique, So yeah, you'll notice that at the bottom of your brand brief, there are some color wheels and things like that that express the emotions. So when you're doing your brand purpose and the emotions that you want your customers to feel when they see your brand, then you can go to the bottom of your brand booster brief and see what colors those things represent. So for example, if you wanted, if you were doing something like a childcare business and you wanted the parents to trust you and feel like they could rely on you, so you go over to this blue color that signifies trust, then you could go on coolers and look at all types of different types of blue, and you could choose which blue you want to use, what you like the best, and also what goes with the rest of your colors. Okay, so that's kind of how to use the colors in your brand booster brief. And of course, your mentor and coach are here to help. Last but not least, friends, your assets. Some of you, it's going to be really, really, really clear right away what your asset is going to be. Others, you might be like, I'm not really sure yet. Here's a few examples: social media templates. If you're building any kind of online community, you're going to need social media templates. Go for that. Maybe you need packaging. That might be a really obvious one for some of you. You might be building digital assets like an app or whatever, so you might need certain things for that. Print and stationery, and of course, publications. Our designers are really flexible, so let us know what you think you need. Do you need a menu? Do you need a loyalty card? Do you need a card for members of your organization to carry? What is it that you need? Let us know. Here's a few examples of past assets. So up here, this is Ruby for her child from asylum to sanctuary. It's a group for refugee mothers and their children. She had all these little illustrations created, which she used on the back of her website, on the packaging of her gifts that she gave to the families. She made stickers from it. So this was a really cool asset. This is Avon Studio, a graphic designer and 3D visualizer. She had a lot of social media content that she creates to show off her beautiful interior design skills. So she got these really great social media patterns that she also put on her website. A loyalty card for a salon, Rejma's Natural Beauty, which we created last year. This was a wrapping paper for fashion designer Yoon Chin Fan. You can see the Y and the Q. This was a part of her brand, but it wasn't her actual logo. It wasn't her actual brand. They created this, which she printed on tissue paper, and she wraps her products inside of when she sends it off. And these were her brand colors. And last but not least, a postcard. This is Nama Party. We create, you celebrate. That's her strapline, very cute. She makes party boxes for lockdown. You can send it to your friend, and there's party decorations inside for when they're celebrating their birthdays by themselves or whatever. Handmade decorations inside. And she wanted to have a little postcard that she puts in every box that sort of has a personalized note on it, etc. So they created that for her. Okay, so this is a few examples of assets. So try to think about what you need for yours. Sorry, guys, we went 5 minutes over. Let us know in the feedback. Please pick up your phone. You can open up your camera, scan this QR code, or you can go to bit.ly/turnfeedback. We can't run Turn without your feedback. You would really be doing us a favor if you take 30 seconds of your night to scan the QR code or go to bit.ly/turnfeedback and let us know what you thought.